Welcome back to the Hobbyist Novice. On today's episode, we continue our talking shops with Disney Lorcana artists. On today's show, we have Eri Welli, who you might mostly have seen with that Beast Enchanted card. Let's go ahead and talk to Eri about his time on Lorcana as well as his career in general.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Hobbyist Novice. Having super special guest with us today, Eri Welli, Disney Lorcana illustrator. You might have seen both Chapter 1 and Rise of the Floodborn as well. Eri, thanks so much for joining us, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate to be here, like be showing about myself. It's not the opportunity I have every day, so I like having this space.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, let's get into it. Tell us a little
Mm.
bit about yourself, like your background, your career, things you worked on, other than Lorcana.
Yeah, my career, I actually started as a designer. I am I have a graduation in design, and I think I've learned a lot about design that even though it's not the field I'm doing right now, uh, at college, I think a lot of things I've learned at college, I use in a subtle way, but I use it right now in my illustrations, like thinking about silhouette, thinking about how the product will be uh, sold. Uh, if you if you look like my Beast Enchanted card, I think I thought an idea of the beast going out of the card. It was like I was thinking on the product, I was thinking on the card, and this is mostly comes from my design background, thinking about how the product will look when people will see it. And although it wasn't the right path I should take, like at the time I thought that doing doing my career as an artist in illustration, it wouldn't give me as much money, but now it's absolutely the opposite. I take much more money with art, and it's really something I wanted to do at first, but then I haven't. At the time, I couldn't have like someone as a reference in Brazil, like to say, oh, there is that guy. You could be like that guy if you study enough. This came later on. Then I started working as a designer for some years, doing like layouts, illustration for animation, like simple animation, like education animation.
Mhm.
And then I started doing like some concept for RPG table games. That's how I
Mhm.
say it. Table, like people who works with that, and they want to use like the character and stuff, like fantasy stuff. Then I've done a little comic. It's
Okay.
been released like last year, and then Lorcana showed up, and it was funny because I was studying a lot at that time, and I had like in my mind I had some sort of a motto, like I would feel like I want to study enough to work in something as big as Disney. Like it was like in 2020, I had this thought on my mind. I think it's 2020 to 2021. And then I was like studying, and posting my stuff on Instagram. And then all of a sudden, someone reached to me and said, "Oh, yeah, there is like something I wanted you to work on." And then it was Disney. I was like, "Oh my God, it might be."
So cool.
It's kind of coincidence, like, because I had this on my mind. Like I didn't, not that I didn't want it to work on Disney, but on my mind it felt like I wanted something as big as this. And then and then Disney showed up, and it was like very fun. I wouldn't believe that I would be here at this day doing interviews about Disney. So that's how
Super.
I sum up my career.
That's awesome. What comics did you work on?
Oh, it was about it was about uh an LGBT thing, like a guy on Second World War. it was like it's kind of a romantic thing happening between the soldiers, something like
Gotcha.
that. And then you have this all uh these things growing up, these the relationship with the others, and that's interesting. I've done storyboarding for the whole comic, and then I've done some of the comics. It was fun to do it. Yeah,
Oh,
it
very
was
cool.
released like 2022, I think.
Awesome. Yeah, and like you were saying, it's got to be crazy. You're doing the comic stuff. You're dreaming about possibly getting to do some stuff with
Yeah,
Disney, and then they just pop into your DMs. Like, what is
yeah,
that feeling
exactly.
like out of nowhere like that?
I mean, it felt like a scam at first because I wouldn't believe myself as being a Disney artist. And at the time Lorcana showed up, I got a little gig on a studio as well. Oh, that's something I forgot to mention. I've done work for studio, doing some stuff for mobile games.
Okay.
Like we used to do like those games that look 3D, but they're not actually 3D. Like they have all painted.
Yeah, I know
It's
exactly.
all painted manually. Yeah, I used to do those stuff like
Oh, cool.
props and scenarios, this kind of stuff. It was a good experience, I guess. Um, and then I was like, no, I cannot leave my job because even though I was invited to Lorcana, maybe they will fire me in the first in my first attempt to do it. So when they got me the items, like like I've done the items first for the set
Mhm.
one, I was like, I really have to dig it. I really have to do like the best item I could deliver. And and then like it was good enough to give me more cards, and I've been doing this for a long time. So like now I'm like I was then I was like how do you say, like safe enough to say like, okay, I can leave the studio and then work only for kind of because now I feel like more proud of myself than I was.
Oh, that's
Like
awesome.
like it's a little sabotage. All the artists has this, I guess. Like we always like sabotaging ourselves, like thinking that it would be these kind of stuff would be like way ahead of us, and then they show up too early to us. Like people think that we are much better than we think of ourselves, and we are always doubting ourselves. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've been studying a lot, like every day. Like we, I think this will be like forever. I think of myself always as a student. Like I don't want it to stop studying with other uh, friends and stuff. Like studying art is really kind of a hobby for me.
No, that's awesome, man. It's got to be a lot of fun. Get to illustrate so many different iconic characters. I mean, you've worked on some big
Yeah,
characters already so far. Like you
yeah,
mentioned that Beast Enchanted, Mr. Smee, Christopher Robin, some really big ones already. So I mean, as yourself as an artist going into it, how does that work for you? Getting these characters, you got to take care of and do an awesome illustration for a card for. How do you go into that process as an artist?
um, yeah. For me, I always think like um, I think the best illustration is the illustration you can see when you look at the illustration. You can see what's going to happen, right? Either what's going to happen or what has happened before. This kind of, I don't know if it maybe giving an example could be like uh better to illustrate this. If you see like Christopher Robin, right? Christopher Robin, the idea was for him to be like an adventurer. There is a little title in the card itself. Uh, Christopher Robin, the adventurer, and I wanted him to look like to the horizon, like although the card is very the frame is very little, we can like show like a very big location and stuff. I wanted him to look at the horizon, like there's so many things for him to explore. So you feel that, like you feel like he's going to explore something ahead, right? And you also have this idea that he's having his backpack with a lot of stuff. It seems like his backpack has not enough space for this stuff he's holding on. It seems like he's going on a very big adventure. So that's the idea I want to get on my illustrations. Um, I think not always I do think I do. I don't think I always do that the way I wanted, like with that much success. But when I have success, I think it's when the illustration itself can show what's going to happen or what has happened before with a single image. That's what I think. I try to think when I'm doing the process. And then that's we do like a lot of sketches. Like I like doing like 3 to 4 sketches just to show how I think of it. Uh, Something I like to do is like let's say you give me a prompt and you give me like, oh, I want a ship. Uh, I don't know. I want a red ship going sailing and people getting off of it, and then give me a simple prompt like that. I do your prompt, but I always do like my own way, like say, oh, maybe the ship could be like like wrecked, or the ship could be very far, or I don't know, just making up like some kind of prompt that you would receive. But even though it's a little bit off the prompt you gave me, I always give like my take on it, because for me it's always there's always like a little space to make your own twist on it, like your own way to see it. And most of the times it's a good option. Like people mostly choose like the option I think myself that would be better. And yeah, I don't know if I explained. I have a
Absolutely.
tendency to I have a tendency to speak too much, like explain things too much.
No, you're
I
good.
don't I'm not good at simplifying stuff.
No, it's good to hear like the process that you go through from beginning to end of how you come up with from a prompt, like you said, and then putting out just this awesome piece of art. That Christopher Robin card is one of my favorite cards I said. I love that card. So just awesome illustration. And actually, a question I had too is like you were talking about like for a card like that, how you have that little bit of space. And then when you look at the enchanted cards, you get a bit more. Is there a different overall process you need to go through for making those enchanted cards, or is it kind of the same type of thing as the regular cards, just you're having that full portrait that you didn't have before?
Yeah, I think for me it feels like the same. But the thing is that as I've done like both, like the beast, the regular beast and the enchanted beast, the regular beast it's supposed to be like relentless already, right? Like has to have this feeling of relentless, like it's very angry. And then the challenge was to do like this leap to angry to very, very much angry on the second one. And I think that's the difference for me when I see the enchanted ones. Not only like the obvious, because it's bigger on the frame, but the idea that I had to do the same card but with more energy to it. And it was already difficult to do the first one with the energy of Relentless. I was like, it was really challenging to me. And I think that's the idea. But for me, I try to think of myself, even when I'm doing a single item, I do I like to do them with the effort I really would love to. Because I know like people love these movies and people would like to see like a very we can't imagine how people are attached to these objects. Like dingle hopper could mean nothing to me, but for someone could mean a lot.
Yeah.
So I try to watch the movie and then try to take the feeling of it, and then make the best effort to make the card look great, even though it's a common, legendary, or enchanted. I try to think. I try to give the same effort for me. I don't know.
No,
For me,
it
it's like
makes perfect
yeah,
sense. I get where you're coming
is that,
from.
but for sure, like the pressure on doing Enchanted. I just forgot to say it. Enchanted. The pressure on doing those, it's really high because you feel like, oh, it should be awesome, right?
Yeah.
That's why I thought like I should do something different. I should do like the beast going out of the car, like he's leaping out of the frame. I'm really glad like how I haven't seen the car yet with like in real life, but I've seen like some pictures and videos about videos of it. Um, and I really feel like these with those effects on the card, it really gave this kind of idea like of him like really popping off the card, and I'm really glad it
No,
I'm
it
really
looks great.
glad it
Yeah.
worked. Yeah, it was
No,
really intentional.
no, your art has been absolutely awesome through the first two sets. I mean, has it been a favorite card for yourself to illustrate? What card you like best to take on?
Yeah, I think um the one I love the most is the Shield of Virtue. I think that's the one I love because I do like simplifying colors on my illustrations. Like Shield of Virtue has only like red and green, and I
Mhm.
do like that, like how the red really pop on the card and really like very centered. And I like how challenging it was when I received the prompt on it because the shield, uh, it was a Ruby kind of shield, right? And Ruby is mostly about movement, about like action. Rubies and a shield, it's very. I feel like a shield should be more like a steel kind of object, steel or umber, something like that. And for Ruby, I thought, how would I do like a shield that looks like a lot of action is happening and it's still focused on a shield? And I really like how the outcome of the illustration. I really like how it came out because I really feel like that idea of movement and action and something happening like all of a sudden. I really got on that card and still got the frame on the shield. So I really like that card. For
Yeah,
me,
it's
it's
very
the
cool, powerful looking card.
personal favorite.
It's
Yeah.
another great card. Like I say, your art's
Yeah.
been absolutely amazing through both of these sets. First off, congratulations on getting to work on these sets. I know, like you were saying
Oh,
earlier,
thank you.
a big goal for you to get to work for Disney. That's so cool to get to do that. I mean, did you have a favorite Disney character going into it?
There is a very specific one I used to love a lot. It's from Lilo and Stitch. Lilo and Stitch was really like one of the thing I used to watch the most, like Lilo and Stitch, Lion King. But from Lilo and Stitch, I don't know if you remember, like there is a alien that has a single eye. His
Yeah.
name is Bleakley, and he used like to dress up like many people, and sometimes he was like a housewife or like his relation with Jumbo was really great, and it was really funny. I always used to love when Bickley would show up. Like that's one of my favorite for sure.
That's awesome. And maybe that goes into this question a little bit. Is there a certain character you would hope to possibly get to illustrate for Lorcana?
Yeah, I would love to design Bickley as a housewife or something similar, like something funny with Bickley. I do like bringing comic ideas to my comical ideas, I mean, to my illustrations. So it would be really fun to bring like quickly
That
on a
would be
card.
awesome.
Even like an enchanted quickly, which I think it's very like not something that's going to happen, but yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be really cool. Definitely something
Yeah.
that would be really cool to see. And I mean, maybe not your own, but have you gotten a chance to look at most of the sets from chapters 1 and 2? Do you have certain illustrations or cards that stick out to you that you really like from some of your peers?
I really like Cookie's card mostly. Uh, his work is great, and he's done the piece like very breaking like it's a very it's a steel piece, I guess.
Hmm.
It's like breaking everything. That's awesome. Uh, he's done like Tinkerbell as well, and I think it's one of my favorites. Another favorite one is it's Musketeer Goofy.
Yeah, I love that card too.
That's one of my favorites. The colors is just amazing, and I really love it. These ones I just mentioned is the ones I've saved in my personal file just to use as a reference because they are they are really great. I
That's
really love how they got to be really on model and on style, and really like bring something else to the illustration. So these are the ones I love the most, I think.
very cool. I know you're talking about you had a few yourself. Did you get to collect much of the set yourself or get any of your own cards?
Oh yeah, I did. I've been to Miami
Okay.
September, last September, and we've done, we took some packs and I received some packs. I received a lot of my own cards as well. And then I had the chance to, take my most of my cards from that one. Yeah. Enchanteds, I don't have any. I think these are really difficult to take.
Are tough.
But I took some of them from set one. I can't wait to see how my beast look on a card, especially the enchanted one. I can't wait to see it. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I've seen pictures as well, like you said. It looks awesome. I haven't had the chance to see it in person yet, but it looks great. Did you get a
Yeah,
chance
and we don't
Oh, so go
and we
ahead.
don't have it we don't have it in Brazil, so it's very difficult for me to reach it. But
Are you going to
at
any
some
other
point I'll see it.
conventions soon?
Yeah, just when I get to conventions or something. But here on my city, on my country, there's no Lorcana yet.
Hopefully it'll come soon. Do you have any conventions coming up that you're going to be going to?
Um, Not for sure because I have a visa to work on.
Okay,
My visa, it's pending, and I have to, to request it, and a lot of bureaucracy to do this stuff, and it will take some months get the until I get the opportunity to go out again. So
gotcha.
fingers crossed, I can be accepted again on the visa. Uh, but if I do, I will have like a lot of invitations to go to the States.
That'll be awesome. Yeah, I definitely hope to catch you at a convention. So what was that experience like? Like, Miami was probably the first really big like Lorcana convention outside of Gen Con where it was launched. So how was that experience getting to meet all these fans? Like that first time the fanfare just really going nuts and getting to experience it firsthand.
Oh yeah, it was really something because it's something really new to me. Like everything was new to me, just the culture and even like the language itself. Like I used I used to talk in English already, but seeing everyone talking in English, like you kind of I felt like I was missing my own my own language. Like I missed speaking Portuguese, like just to myself, and it was like I really like a lot of experience come from all the ways. Like everyone, you see like some fans coming to your table, and they are really like excited about it, and like and they see you like a celebrity, like they see you like something else, and that's like the all the this excitement you get from the people. You see, like I didn't know this was as big as I see it, and when you realize that, I think it's just something I wouldn't expect. Like for me, being like doing illustrations on my little house, like very far from the others. we don't see how these like impact people and how people could have many kind of different feelings about an illustration you've done, which is just for me it was just a it's just a thing like personal thing like doing a job. It wasn't as big as I thought it would be. And then when I got there, I realized that, and that's how I think I can summarize my experience, I guess. And it was really cool as well to meet the other
Mhm.
artists in there because we don't get to meet like each other, like we live very far apart and we don't get to meet them, and then we could exchange stuff, we could talk about a lot of things. And then it was great. For me it was like a very cool experience. I hope I could be again
Yeah, I really
next year.
I hope you do. I'm sure you will. I mean, that I saw the photos and the videos of Miami TCD. It looked
Yeah,
absolutely amazing. It looked like a
yeah.
lot of fun. And I mean, I'm sure it was pretty overwhelming also to come into something like that. I really wanted to thank you again, taking the time out for us today, coming on the show, explaining your process, going over some of the cards you put out so far. Congratulations on all the success you've had here too, not just on Lorcana, but the rest of your career too. And thank you again, Eri. I really appreciate it, man, coming on today and giving us some of your time.
Oh, thank you. For me, like it's a blast to be here, like talking about myself. We don't get this opportunity that much. I There's a lot of stuff like coming on my Instagram. Like I'm going to post a lot of stuff. Like I do have to post more because now I'm like people are getting to know me, and I'm not really good at social media, so you have to be patient with me. Uh, but will. I do have a lot of illustrations like coming up on my socials. So if you want to follow me, just Eri Welli, etc. Eri Welli everywhere, like Twitter, Instagram, ArtStation. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of things going on, and yeah, I hope we can talk again in the future. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to have you back
Yeah,
on, discuss and not just Lorcana, things may be going on with
yeah.
you also. And we'll link to all of your social channels in the description below.
Thank
So you can easily link to you also to go follow Ari on all of his different social channels. Again, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it, man. And hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Oh yeah, yeah, I hope so. Thank you for the whole like the whole channel. Like I've seen some of your stuff on the channel. It's really great. I've
Appreciate it.
seen like the Nicholas Cole interview as well,
Mhm.
and I really feel like I really feel flattered to be like the second artist after Nicholas Cole. Like it feels like I'm as big as him. But no, just kidding. Yeah, he's a great one as well. Yeah, that's it for me.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ari. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good rest of your day. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.